So for the entire season, it seems like we've been saying, how do you stop that? As in, Giannis Antetokounmpo only needs 4 steps to get from one side of the court to the other. How do you stop that? Or the Bucks have loaded up with shooters, but also play super active defense. How do you stop that? Well, it turns out that the team with the presumptive MVP, who is also possibly going to be the Defensive Player of the Year, that won a league-high 60 games this season, can be stopped. All you need is one of the best players on earth, a new baby, and Drake, and you're set. Seriously, look how last night went. The Bucks jumped out to an early double-digit lead and managed one again in the third quarter. And for a while, it looked like all was right with the world again in Milwaukee. The Jumbotron even featured what might be the most Wisconsin thing ever. Packers offensive lineman David Bakhtiari chugging a beer. Impressive, right? Except then they switched to Aaron Rodgers with his beer. Shout out to the Bucks game crew, by the way, for listing Rodgers as Game of Thrones extra. But as for Aaron himself, yeah, not a good effort there. And even Lions QB Matthew Stafford noticed. This is video his wife Kelly posted from where they were watching the game down in Florida.
There we go. Those are people that know how to drink.
Stafford was not even the only one trolling. If you go back to that shot of Rodgers, you can see the daughter of one of the Bucks co-owners sitting next to him. She's wearing a shirt with Pusha T's face on it. That is, of course, a shot at Raptors superfan Drake, who himself then turned around and put her face on his IG. And yeah, there was still a game going on here, people, which the Bucks were letting the Raptors right back into, thanks in part to Toronto's bench, which outscored the Bucks bench 35-15.
Wow.
Fred VanVleet in particular was his own walking ball of fire, knocking down 7 threes. And it's been quite the week for Fred, who was in Rockford, Illinois on Monday for the birth of his second kid. Flew back to Toronto for Game 4, flew back to Milwaukee with the team, then drove back to Illinois to see his son again, then drove back to Milwaukee for Game 5. All of that wear and tear should make a player worse, but clearly it's been freeing for VanVleet, who when asked last night for the secret of his success, he said, quote, 0 sleep, have a lot of babies, and go out and let loose, which is good advice and also might make Milwaukee fans wonder if Eric Bledsoe can have a baby before Game 6. It's saying something that last night might have actually been Eric's best game of this series, and he was still 2 for 7 from behind the arc, including missing this crucial 3 down the stretch. That would have tied the game up for Milwaukee. Huge miss, because just before that, Kawhi missed a clutch 3, but then somehow gets his own rebound off a 3, because he's Kawhi and he's ridiculous. We're all running out of superlatives for Leonard this postseason, and he was a killer again last night, not just scoring, but leading a defense that has totally stymied Milwaukee in the half court. Time after time, after time, after time. We're just going to keep rolling these. The Raptors walled Giannis off from the basket.
Look at that.
And because the Bucks shooters weren't making Toronto pay from the outside, everything just got gumped up. And it could get worse for the Bucks. Watch Giannis tweak his ankle here. That led Coach Bud to pull him off the court for 37 seconds of the game's final 2 minutes. Now afterward, Giannis would say he was fine, while also promising that the Bucks are not going to fold. Meanwhile, there was Drake again in Toronto, in front of the crowd that had been watching the game on the big screens at Jurassic Park, with a promise of his own.
Look, we play in an American league, and I promise you a Canadian team is going to the NBA Finals. We love you guys.
Be careful.
Will the Raptors indeed get to the finals? If they do, it will be because they figured out how to stop what for an entire season the rest of the league couldn't.